Baseball is America's favorite pastime, but only 0.45% of kids who will ever play baseball in their life will actually make it to the major leagues and play in the MLB. Everyone has a little bit of knowledge about baseball. You know, that it consists of players, teams, there's innings and outs, someone's trying to score runs by any means necessary, there's walks, all of this stuff. Some people, you've learned from either playing it yourself or through family members that have played and, you've watched. I have a huge concern for baseball because I've played it my whole life. And I can still remember to this day of my dad teaching me to play it. I can remember playing t-ball, little league, middle school, high school. I can remember all the way up until college and the 1 year of prospect league that I actually got to play. And, I still to this day would like to play in the MLB, but I know that's probably not going to happen now. As everyone knows, baseball consists of players and teams, but you might not know who the first people to play the game and the first teams and who actually invented the game and implemented the rules. The first guy to actually invent the game is known as Abner Doubleday. He invented the game in 1839 in a small town in New York called Cooperstown. Some people think that Alexander Cartwright is the inventor of baseball, but he is not. He was the one who invented the first set of rules to formalize baseball, and he did that in 1845. A year later, the first recorded baseball game took place in 1846. By 1869, the Cincinnati Red Stockings decided to be the first professional team. And they beat everyone because they had the best players, because the best players wanted to get paid. They were the first paid players to ever play in the major leagues. And 1869 was the first year that the major leagues was actually invented. By 1871, the National Association became the first professional baseball league, which consisted of 9 teams, ran by players and the teams. This turned out to not work out that good. Everyone started fighting and crowds started to diminish. So by 1879, the National Association was replaced with the National League, which was ran by businessmen. This turned out to be really good. The crowd started coming back and it started getting its popularity back. In the American League joined the National League in 1901, and that's still how it is today. There's an American League and a National League, and that's, like I said, still how it is today. In 1960, the Continental League was invented to help out with the MLB. This led to the steroid era in MLB. During the 1990s, the MLB experienced an increase in offensive output, which led to a lot of home runs throughout the game. While just 3 players reached the 50 home run mark in any season between 1961 and 1964, many sluggers would start to surpass that number in the mid-90s, which led to the belief of performance-enhancing drugs, which was the case. In 1996, Mark McGwire, who was playing for the Oakland Athletics at the time, led the majors with 52 home runs, even though he was hurt for a good part of the season. In 1997, both Mark McGwire and Ken Griffey Jr. threatened the individual record of 60-run home runs set by Roger Maris in 1961. Even though they didn't break it, I think they ended up with 58 home runs and 54, which was still incredible at the time. After such great offensive output, the MLB decided that they were going to start drug testing their players in 2003 for the performance-enhancing drugs, even though that these drugs had been banned since 1991. The steroid era came to a head when Barry Bonds notched 73 home runs, way more than the record, way more than anyone has ever seen before, despite failing to hit 50 home runs in any seasons before this. That means he didn't hit 50 home runs his whole career and then hit 73 in 1 year. That's going to draw attention. Everyone's going to start thinking, performance-enhancing drugs, that's definitely what everyone's doing, because no one has ever hit 73 home runs. He also hit his 500th career home run that year and hit 600 a year later. So he was hitting a lot of home runs during this time. This led other players thinking, hey, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, all these guys are hitting a lot of home runs. That's what I want to do. So we're going to start taking. And that's a big problem because they started getting banned for life. You can get caught once and it's a fine. You can get caught twice and it's a fine. But if you get caught a third time, you're banned for life. And, if you're that invested into the major leagues, you love the game, and that's not good. Since some people are not allowed in the Hall of Fame, that's why performance-enhancing drugs are not good, because like Barry Bonds, he's not allowed in the Hall of Fame now because of that. The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown honors those elected and immortalizes the best players ever to play the game with bronze plaques. Since the first election in 1936, the question of who should get in to the Hall of Fame has been of great debate. One thing, though, is clear, and that is that the Hall of Fame is the highest achievement in the major leagues of baseball. From my speech, I hope that you guys know baseball was invented by Abner Doubleday in Cooperstown, New York. MLB was created in 1869, but some rules were invented before then. And I hope you have learned some important facts and, have a better understanding of the game. Thank you.